New reaction tonight as New York's governor gets angry pushback and goes on the defensive after he made remarks last week suggesting that those who happen to oppose abortion, those who advocate gun rights, and many others just aren't welcome in his state.
The problem is not me and the Democrats. Their problem is themselves. Who are they? Are they these extreme conservatives who are right to life, pro-assault weapon, anti-gay? Is that who they are? Because if that's who they are, and if they are the extreme conservatives, they have no place in the state of New York. Because that's not who New Yorkers are.
Chris Hahn is a former aide to Democratic Senator, New York Senator Chuck Schumer, and host of the Chris Hahn Show. So, Chris, as I said earlier, is it Governor Cuomo or is it King Cuomo? Your thoughts?
It's Governor Cuomo, and if you listen to the entire tape, he's clearly talking about electoral politics. There's no room for extremism in New York politics. They just don't get elected statewide anymore.
What is extremism? Being pro-life or anti-choice, as he put it?
No, not at all. But if that's the only thing you're going to run on, that makes you extreme. And, you know, these Tea Party types running around the country, New York Republicans are closer in their politics to me than they are to Ted Cruz. I'll give you an example. The chairman of the Republican Party statewide in New York State is also the chairman of the board of the League of Conservation Voters Education Fund. He doesn't walk around the halls of the Capitol when it gets cold out and make fun of global warming people.
Okay, but
so I mean,
okay, but he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about guns and abortion. And this has Catholics already coming out and saying, who do you mean? I mean, Mother Teresa, she couldn't have lived here in New York State. That would have been objectionable to the governor. I mean, you heard it right on the tape. They have no place in the state of New York. Because that's not who New Yorkers are. Because that's not who New Yorkers are. Who is he to say who New Yorkers are?
Megyn, he was talking clearly about the political structure of the state of New York. That was clear from the tape.
But he went on to say because that's not who New Yorkers are. New Yorkers are not pro-life. New Yorkers are not pro-gun?
They're not. New Yorkers are not pro-life or pro-gun. He pointed clearly to the
King
polls.
Cuomo and Prince Hahn. I mean, come on. Do you know how alienating that would be to the left if you had a Republican governor saying there's no place in the state of Texas for people who happen to be pro-choice or anti-gun?
Well, we'll find out if a pro-choice person can get elected statewide in Texas, but an anti-choice person who makes that their entire platform, an extremist,
he didn't talk about
cannot get elected in New York State.
You're giving him more. You're giving him more credit than he deserves because he did not say somebody who makes this their entire platform.
Well, look, this governor has worked with Republicans very well. He has worked with Republicans better than his predecessor, George Pataki.
But
in
now
fact,
he's moving left.
To the right of George.
He's moving left, and the reports are he's moving left because he wants to run for president, which they say he will do if Hillary doesn't run. Got to go. Good to see you, Chris.
Look at his total record. He's been great on economy in this state, and he's lowered taxes for everybody.
Not going to be so great with the pro-life, pro-gun people. Okay, joining me now for the other side of the debate, Mark Thiessen. He's a former speechwriter for President George W. Bush. Mark, your thoughts?
Who on earth is the governor of New York to say who has a place in New York and who doesn't? I mean, you know, who made this guy king, number one? Has he had this conversation with Cardinal Dolan, who is both pro-life and opposes gay marriage? Does Cardinal Dolan have no place in New York? Does Governor Cuomo's own father, who claims to be personally pro-life, who said that a fetus should be protected, does he have no place in New York? I mean, this is stuff that somebody who aspires to the presidency, things that someone like that ought to not be saying.
Now, the governor's office came out and tried to clarify? I don't know. They tried to rebut all criticism by saying it was unfair. And they said, the governor went on in the same radio interview to say, it's fine, that's a quote, it is fine to be anti-gun control and anti-choice as he respects both positions.
Yeah, you played his plain words right there. I mean, anybody can hear it. If you have these positions, you have no place in New York. That's not who New Yorkers are. And look, Governor Cuomo should not be telling anybody to leave New York, okay? This is a state that is hemorrhaging people and money, all right? In the last decade, according to the Tax Foundation, more people have left the state of New York than any other state in the union. 3.4 million people have left New York, taking with them $46 million in taxable income. So if you know they're hemorrhaging about $120 a minute in New York from people leaving the state. So the governor should not be telling, for example, gun manufacturers who are picking up and leaving because of him. He should not be telling businesses to leave. And then, by the way, if he's worried about extremist views, we've got a new mayor in New York whose model for governance is the Sandinista regime in Nicaragua. Okay? He wants to raise taxes more and drive more people out. So if he wants to put his fire at extremists, look at Gracie Mansion.
In fairness to Governor Cuomo, he didn't tell people that they have to leave. He just said that they have no place here. So if you can find some place to sit,
you can stay, but you have no place here. You don't belong.
All right, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
What do you think about the governor?